Today we're going to do a full rundown of everything in my current sling bag setup. Give your wallet a little warning as you'll probably be wanting to freshen up your EDC after this one. I've recently started using sling bags as an everyday bag instead of a full rucksack, and they've been a bit of a revelation. I think certain tech items are getting so big these days, and yeah, I'm looking at you, iPhone Pro Max, that it's just not practical to carry around the stuff that you need in pockets. So I'm finding that sling bags are great when you need more than just a phone when you're out and about. And my current favourite sling bag is this one from TomTok, who kindly sent me this one to try out. This is the Custom XU Sling Bag Pro. And actually, that's not the full story. They told me I could customise it however I wanted, and they weren't joking. You can literally build your own bag. So right down to the exterior material, colour on the upper and lower of the bag, the back, the buckle, the strap colour, the logo, the interior material, and you can even add some custom text here on the side to make sure people know it's yours. Now I believe when you take all of that into account, there are something like 23 million different configurations here. Now if you want to know the exact spec I went with on this one, you can find it all linked down in the description. So what's inside? Now before we get to the tech, there are some things you need to know about me. Firstly, I'm a dad. And although my kids don't need nappies or changes of clothes anymore, I've not quite kicked the habit of carrying wet wipes. They're actually really helpful to have, even without kids, for cleaning devices, wiping your hands, or, your general person. I rarely, if ever, leave the house without a travel pack of wipes on me. Also, and I hope this comes across if you've ever seen any of my videos before, but I'm generally quite a nice, friendly person. Except when I'm hungry, in which case I turn into a big, grumpy hanger monster. But it's okay, because I've been made aware of that over the years, and I keep an emergency supply of snacks on me at all times. So at the moment, I'm quite partial to these salted cashews, and also these Percy Pig fizzy sweets. Now, if you've ever been to the UK, Percy Pig is quite a big deal, and I highly recommend sampling these ones. Anyway, let's get to the tech. Now, first of all, we've got my iPad mini and the Apple Pencil. This is the 6th gen iPad mini from 2021 and the Gen 2 Apple Pencil. Now I've spent many videos talking about how much I love this form factor and the portability of this little device, but I've got a little confession to make. I've secretly been experimenting with the new 11-inch iPad Pro, and that thing is so snappy, it does make the iPad mini look a bit sluggish by comparison. Now on the other hand, I can fit the iPad mini into this slim bag, so the mini is staying put for now. Now, if you're interested to know what I think of the 11-inch iPad Pro, having been a mini user for years, just make sure you subscribe, and I've got a video coming up really soon on that topic. And next up, here's my phone. It's the iPhone 15 Pro Max with the Pitaka Mag Easy case on. This is their Moonrise color, although there are others available. Now, the Pitaka case uses aramid fiber, which is 5 times stronger than steel. And as you can see, there's really good protection around the camera bump too, which is pretty reassuring. Also, this case adds almost kind of a snake skin-like texture, which is great because that titanium finish on the iPhone Pro Max is just a little bit too slippery for me. Now, the wallpapers on the iPad and the iPhone are both mine. If you like them, there's a whole bunch available on my website. Oh, I almost forgot about these. These are my hay fever tablets. I suffer from hay fever really badly in the UK summer, so I've almost always got antihistamines on me, just in case I have a flare-up. It's not good. These help. And next up we have the Plord Note. This is a little AI-powered audio recorder. I made a full video about this up here, but the idea is that it'll basically sit there nice and subtly recording meetings, video conference calls, and even phone calls, and then transcribe them for you, then send you meeting summaries via whatever format you want. And in the latest software update, you can do things like speaker recognition, and you can even design your own summary format now too. So I'd say this little device is a bit of a game changer if you don't like taking notes, or if you want to stay really present when you're in a meeting or on a phone call. Now, next up, audio-wise, I've got my AirPods Pro 2, which I keep in this hardshell case from Mouse. This is one of the last devices I own that have got a lightning connector, but I usually charge them wirelessly anyway, so it's not really a big problem. These are pretty much permanently with me because they're just a seamless way to take calls, listen to music and podcasts, and generally block out the world around me when I'm not feeling especially social. Next up, there's this pen. I'm generally pretty paperless these days, but you never know when you might need a decent pen. I'm a really big fan of this one from Nomad, which is a nice, easy size, it's relatively lightweight, and it writes beautifully. It's made from steel and aluminium, and it's got a very satisfying click button mechanism. I'm actually quite particular about pens, and for a cool $50, this is probably one of the best pens I own. Next up, I've got my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This is just a phenomenal and portable camera if you're into any kind of content creation. I use this for loads of content that I make on the channel, particularly things like shorts, anything vloggy, or any B-roll of products that's needed. And even with this little cover on, it's so compact that I can just pop it in the sling bag, and I've almost always got it with me. You never know, just in case. If I ever need to take this with me and I need it for longer stretches, I recently picked up this travel case from Telesin, which lets me store a little battery pack and a tripod and the microphone in a hard shell case that's way more protective than the one that DJI shipped with the device. But to be honest, most days just having this core unit is plenty for me. It's also really subtle, so if you want to do a spot of filming, you're less likely to draw attention to yourself compared to waving around a huge DSLR. Here's my wallet. This is from Exeter. I think even when most everyday transactions use contactless, I usually have a wallet on me just in case I need to spend above the contactless limit. Now this one holds a bunch of cards and also has a nice little wireless tracker inside that allows me to find it if it ever gets lost. It's pretty cool. I think they actually recently released a new version of this which integrates with Apple's Find My system, which is even better. It also has this little flick mechanism that lets you keep all the cards that you need easy access to, and you can just pop them all out like a magician shuffling cards like this. Next up, we've got my keys, and this is, or was, a limited edition run by Orbit Key, which lets you keep a bunch of keys together in a way that's not going to rattle around or scratch anything scratchable in your pockets or bag. You just kind of fold them out when you need them, and then when you're done, they all sit snug back in this little leather sort of pouch. They come in lots of different materials too if you're not into leather, and I believe they're working on a new version which is out later this year. I've had this for years and years, and it's barely showing any signs of wear, so I think, yeah, it's pretty impressive. What else? Power. Now there are a few things in here which might need juicing up over the course of a day, and rather than carrying around a small compact power bank with me, I prefer to add in this long and slim number from Enu. This is their B64, and it packs a 27,000 milliamp hour capacity. And that means you can charge all the way up to 140 watts via USB-C. You can also charge another USB-C device if you want, and another via USB-A if you really want to. That's enough to get my iPhone from empty to 71% in just 30 minutes. This thing is a beast, and I never ever need to worry about running out of charge when I've got it stowed away in here. Now, of course, I do need a way to carry that charge to my devices, so I'm quite partial to these MagTame cables, which coil up when they're not needed and they stay nice and tidy using magnets. Now this is an EDC video, and even though these aren't in my sling bag, there are two final items I wanted to mention. The first one is actually on my finger. This is the Ultrahuman Air smart ring, which I've been testing out for a few months now. I'm going to have a full review coming soon, but it's safe to say I've been really impressed with this device. It tracks all sorts of data, including metabolism, recovery rate, heart rate, and it then tells you what to do about it if it feels like you need to make any adjustments. My challenge is I'm not entirely sure yet who this is for. It's a beautiful bit of tech, but if you're the sort of person who cares about tracking that kind of data, you've probably got a Fitbit or a Garmin watch, or maybe like me, an Apple Watch, which is about the same price, and it also gives you a screen to control it with and can tell the time. So this one is my Series 7 steel Apple Watch, and I've got this double-sided silicone magnetic strap-on, which is from Banks. I've been thinking lately that I might try and reduce some of my screen time, and I've been thinking about going analog for the watch and keeping this smart ring going. And honestly, the app for the Ultrahuman ring is a bit of a work of art. There's loads to dig into, but as I say, full review coming soon. There we go, folks. That's everything I carry around most days in my sling bag, on my fingers and on my wrists. I've done my best to list everything I mentioned here in the description, but if you've got any questions, just pop them below in the comments and I'll do my best to help out. Now, some of these items were sent to me to test out ahead of this video, so there are some exclusive discounts available too, which I've also listed down next to each item. Enjoy. Meanwhile, if you're curious to know what I keep with me when I'm working away on much longer trips, I've got my overseas tech bag rundown just over here from a business trip to Finland I took last year. See you next time.